Good evening. It is my pleasure to welcome you to Shepherd University and to the Nursing Convocation for May 2022, where we will celebrate the pinning of the Bachelor of Science in Nursing candidates for May 2022 and the hooding of the Doctor of Nursing Practice candidates for 2022. For the past several years, these women and men seated before you have been engaged in their journey to become professional and advanced practice nurses. They now stand on the precipice of having completed that goal. That journey has been rigorous and difficult, even frustrating at times. These candidates are to be commended on their dedication and perseverance, and we are very proud of all of them. This evening's ceremony combines traditions from both nursing and academia. The term convocation comes from the Latin word convocare, meaning to come together or call together. A university convocation is a calling together of the academic community for a special purpose. Convocations often occur at the beginning of one's studies as a way of welcoming students to the university. Convocations also occur at the end of one's studies, and so the purpose of this evening's convocation is one of celebration for a job well done and a journey completed. The nursing tradition of pinning graduates can be traced back to the 12th century when members of Christian hospital orders of knights wore the Maltese cross as a symbol of service. More recently, in 1855, Queen Victoria and Prince Albert presented Florence Nightingale with the first true nursing pin to recognize her service in the Crimean War. Then, in 1880, Bellevue Hospital School of Nursing was the first nursing school in the United States to bestow a pin on graduates. Following Bellevue, nursing schools around the country began to present graduates with a uniquely designed pin. The nursing pin has become a recognition of completion of your education, a reminder of your call to service of others, and a symbol of your home as a nurse. These candidates now join a very large home of more than 1,000 Shepherd nurses. We hope the pin and this ceremony will serve to remind you, our newest colleagues, that you will always be welcome here at Shepherd. This evening, we will also bestow the academic hood for our doctoral candidates. The velvet trim of the hood is the color apricot, which is the color assigned to advanced practice degrees in nursing. The blue and gold satin lining represents the colors of Shepherd University. It is now my pleasure to introduce the interim provost of Shepherd University, Dr. Ben Martz.
Thank you. Yeah. So, isn't it great to see people smiling in 3 dimensions? That's just wonderful. Glad to have you here. I wish to welcome you to the May 2022 graduating class for the School of Nursing in the sesquicentennial, there we go, year of Shepherd University. It is great to see smiles once again. Today, as we emerge into our new normal, we are thrilled at the opportunity to have your families and friends here to celebrate your journey with us. I think it is safe to say that the world today is drastically different than anyone would have predicted 2 or 3 years ago. Few would have predicted a worldwide crisis with COVID-19 pandemic that paradoxically closed doors to hospitals while creating a greater need for those caring for people in hospitals. Few would have predicted that you would have to endure the wearing of masks or other major changes from normal in our worlds just to go to class and complete your goal. To your credit, you have adapted. You have adapted to a lot of change in these very complex and extraordinary times. Changes such as online classes, don't boo them, okay, and completing clinical hours in a pandemic. You have persevered through the myriad of safety practices of vaccinations, hand washing, and social distancing. There's at least one positive you should take away from all this. This ability to adapt, or fondly now called lifelong learning, and the perseverance will serve you well moving forward, such as when you take your national certification licensure exams, okay? Now you already know you can adapt and persevere and succeed. From there, you will need to be ready to adapt again as you join many of the previous Shepherd University nursing graduates working in emergency departments, critical care units, pediatric units, neonatal intensive care units, labor delivery and medical surgical areas. For family nurse practitioners, you too will need to adapt as you join primary care sites which need you now to address the healthcare needs of our most vulnerable populations. You should be proud of all you have had to do to gain this success. Completing this rigorous program in the face of these trying times is something you can always be proud of. It will serve you well. Congratulations and best wishes. And remember your mothers on Sunday. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Marks. So now it is my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker. Dr. Michael Groves is an associate professor emeritus at Shepherd University, having joined the faculties of the School of Nursing and the College of Business in 2012. Dr. Groves received his Bachelor of Science in Nursing from Seton Hall University in New Jersey, a Master of General Administration with a concentration in Healthcare Administration from the University of Maryland, University College. He completed his Doctor of Philosophy in Nursing Science at Texas Woman's University in Houston. Additionally, Dr. Groves is a graduate of the Summer Genetics Institute at the National Institute of Nursing Research and holds a graduate certificate in bioethics and health policy from Loyola University, Chicago. Dr. Groves' clinical background is in emergency and trauma nursing, having worked for 15 years at the R. Adams Cowley Shock Trauma Center at the University of Maryland Medical Center in Baltimore. Dr. Groves has more than 20 years of mid-level and executive leadership experience as a nurse manager, director, administrative director, and vice president of nursing in hospitals ranging from 100 beds to 550 beds. He was briefly an educator for a medical computer software company. For several years, he worked as a healthcare management consultant, providing services to hospitals ranging from small rural facilities to large academic medical centers. Just prior to coming to Shepherd, Dr. Groves was self-employed as an independent contractor, providing interim executive nursing services to hospitals across the country. At Shepherd, Dr. Groves has taught at the undergraduate, master's, and graduate level. He has taught a wide variety of courses with his teaching, most recently focused in bioethics and genetic and genomic nursing. During his career, Dr. Groves has received several awards. He is the recipient of the 2018 Douglas C. Smith Distinguished Graduate Faculty Award and the 2021 President's Award from the International Society of Nurses in Genetics. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Michael Groves.
Thank you, Dr. Fetty, and welcome again to the family and friends of our graduating BSN and DNP candidates, and welcome to all of you. For those of you who are not aware, as chair of the Student Affairs Committee, it was my job to manage this ceremony for about 6 years. During that time, I arranged for many of our convocation speakers. Often they would ask for hints about the content of their talks. I reminded them to relax because in 5 years, no one was going to remember what they said. I also told them to remember 3 rules. They should be aspirational, they should be a little bit funny, and they should be brief. And if you cannot follow rules 1 and 2, at least make sure you follow rule 3. So first, it's always important, as I'm sure I've told you in some class, that we must consider things in context. So if you're going to listen to my advice, then you should know the path that has led me to where I am today, and my introduction kind of gave you a flavor for what that's going to be. I actually became a nurse more by accident than by design. In high school, I decided I wanted to be an X-ray technician. I don't really remember why, but it seemed like a good idea at the time. So I applied to the school at the local hospital, and I was promptly rejected. Of course, being 17, I had no backup plan, so the summer was spent mostly doing nothing. Eventually, my mother's patience came to an end, and she told me to either get a job or go to school, but get off her couch and stop eating her food. So I got a job at the hospital as an orderly on the night shift, and I picked the night shift because it had a shift differential of 10 cents an hour. I was working one Friday night a couple months after I started, and the nursing supervisor called and told me to report immediately to the emergency department because they needed help. I don't know what she thought this 18-year-old kid who knew nothing was going to do, but off I went. So I went downstairs and I cautiously walked into the department and I saw absolute bedlam. The teenager of a station wagon, and I realize some of you may not know what that is, went off the road and ran into a tree and seriously injured some of the 9 passengers that were crammed into the vehicle. I was quickly given some instructions and spent the next several hours running to the lab and the blood bank, restocking carts and shelves as their supplies were depleted. I also kept an eye on the charge nurse, who quickly but calmly instructed and managed and directed as needed. Peggy was almost 5 feet tall and had a squeaky voice, but no one had any doubt who was in charge. I was instantly hooked and decided that night I was going to be an ED nurse. 5 years later, I graduated from that nursing school and started working in that ED. The day I received the results of my state board exams, this gives you an idea of what things were like back then, I became the permanent night shift charge nurse of that department. 2 years after starting as an RN, I went to a trauma conference in New York City where I met several speakers from something called shock trauma at the University of Maryland Medical Center. It occurred to me that this sounded like the place to be, so I set my sights on Baltimore. I sent in my resume and cover letter and heard absolutely nothing for 2 months. One day I decided, what the heck, I'll just give them a call. One of the administrative assistants answered the phone and I asked if they had received my application to work in the resuscitation unit. She said, I don't have any idea, but the nurse manager is coming down the hall, why don't you talk to her? I'm sure it was just coincidence that her name was also Peggy. I had my interview on the phone and moved to Baltimore a month later. I worked at that trauma center, as you heard earlier, for 15 years, 8 years as a staff nurse and 7 as the nurse manager of that unit. So here we are with lesson number 1. Don't overplan your life. Define a mission and let the mission direct your course. If you know what your purpose in life is, you can be open to taking advantage of opportunities as they arise. So, after I left the University of Maryland in 1995, I had a couple of relatively short-term positions until 1997, when I joined a small consulting firm in Dallas. For the next 4 years, I worked in hospitals literally from Connecticut to California. helping the leadership team work through quality and productivity issues. This was a new experience for me, and the work was very challenging, not only because of the high stakes for both the client and the consulting firm, but also because it required constant travel. I had the opportunity, for example, to fly back and forth from Baltimore to San Francisco every week for 7 months. And that was right after spending an entire winter in Duluth, Minnesota. I could tell hours of road warrior stories, but the important development in this part of the story is having met the person who became and remains my personal and professional mentor. I met Harriet when we shared a company car while working on a project at Yale New Haven Medical Center. Harriet has an amazing mind, and she speaks in an unending stream of consciousness. She also never finishes a single sentence. It is both fascinating and incredibly frustrating. Her mind simply thinks faster than she is able to get the thoughts out. Now, my normal routine was to spend the day working for the client and then return to my sterile, bland corporate apartment and work for a couple more hours before watching a little television and going to bed. Harriet quickly announced her intention to ensure that I had a life, despite the fact that I really wasn't particularly interested in having one. Harriet would drag all the little introverts, usually kicking and screaming, to concerts and to the theater and to dinner and to baseball games. Now, Harriet left the consulting firm about a year after I started and returned to her home in Houston, where she became the chief nursing officer of a large community hospital. For 2 years, she kept asking me to come to Houston and work with her. And, as usual, Harriet eventually got her way. I rented an apartment and for more than 3 years traveled between Houston and our home in Maryland. Fortunately, when I left the consulting firm, I had just over 500,000 frequent flyer miles for the trips home. My office was right next to hers in the nursing administration suite, and one day Harriet came back from a meeting, came into my office, and proclaimed that she had decided I was going to get my PhD. And as usual, Harriet eventually got her way. And herein lies lesson number 2. Have someone in your life who will always tell you the truth, even about yourself, especially about yourself, and even when it isn't pretty. Someone who will also, by the way, always be your champion. They will ground you in reality and humility, somehow convincing you that you simultaneously know more than you think, but less than you should. I am actually lucky enough to have 2 such people in my life. Harriet still lives in Houston, and we talk occasionally, and the other one I married. It was at this point that we moved to West Virginia, and I became the chief nursing officer at what was then City Hospital. I started in February 2004, and it was on January 1st, 2005, that WVU Hospitals acquired both City Hospital and Jefferson Memorial, forming West Virginia University Hospitals East. As we all know, this was just the start of the metamorphosis of City Hospital into today's Berkeley Medical Center. 6 years later, I left WVUH East, and after a short stint at Mountain State University, I went back on the road for another 2 years. In my final job before coming to Shepherd, I traveled around the country doing short interim assignments for hospitals who were transitioning between nursing leaders. Often, these were organizations in crisis. One of my clients was on the verge of losing their Joint Commission accreditation, as well as the hospital's license and Medicare funding. Another needed to recover from a nursing leader who had become ineffective and had allowed a toxic environment to take hold. Each of these clients needed someone to quickly, like lunch on the second day, assess the organization and begin to make improvements. One of the other challenges of this work was the need to always be working on your next assignment. So after 2 years of that, it was time to return home. It was also at this point that I finally finished that PhD that Harriet insisted I was going to get, despite many people thinking I wouldn't. Like most PhD programs, mine had a 10-year limit. I finished in 9 years, 363 days. 2 days to spare. I don't really know what everyone was worried about. So finally, I arrive at Shepherd University. I somehow convinced Dr. Maley to hire me, even though I don't think a position existed at the time. I initially split my time between nursing and business administration and coordinated both the RN to BSN program and the health administration concentration in the MBA. Just after midterms that first semester, Dr. Maley asked me to take over teaching the genetics course. And this part might make her cringe a little bit, but I didn't really know all that much about genetics at the time. More than the students did, probably, but clearly an as-yet undeveloped area of expertise. But to be fair, most of the nursing faculty teaching genetics across the country were in the same boat. We were just beginning to understand the tremendous future impact of genetic and genomic science in healthcare and the necessity of ensuring that new nurses were acquainted with this evolving field. So after hours of continuing education programs and self-study, I managed to make my way through the first semester. That summer, I had the opportunity to attend the Summer Genetics Institute at the National Institute of Nursing Research in Bethesda, and I was on my way. My colleagues at the SGI introduced me to the International Society of Nurses in Genetics and the amazing work its members were doing in basic and clinical research, clinical practice, and education. I had the opportunity to lead the committee that planned the Society's annual meeting for several years. One of those years was 2020. It was around the end of June when the organization decided that the meeting planned for November could not be in person. The committee had about 4 months to take an international conference with speakers from over 20 countries and go virtual, with people now attending the conference in 16 different time zones. Obviously, no one on the committee had done anything even remotely similar, but we were committed to making the meeting a success. Somehow we managed to pull it off, and the meeting received rave reviews. And so now we come to the final lesson of the evening: say yes. Over the course of my career, I have had some amazing opportunities to do things I hadn't done and to go places I hadn't been. I had those opportunities because I said yes. Yes, I'll serve on that committee. Yes, I'll take on that project. Yes, of course I know how to do that. I admit that last one can occasionally get you into some trouble. I don't believe in luck. I think luck is being prepared to take on new opportunities and being willing to say yes when they present themselves. You are starting your career or entering advanced practice at a time of great challenge. You are our students of the pandemic, forced by circumstances to learn in ways you didn't anticipate, while facing significant risk of personal harm to both you and your families. We, the faculty, appreciated your forbearance and patience as we figured out together how to navigate a changed world. The fact that you are sitting here this evening is a testament to your perseverance, resilience, and in some cases, outright stubbornness. Congratulations on your achievement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Groves. Now, I would like to introduce you to Heather Lynn Cook, the outgoing president of the Shepherd University Student Nurses Association. She would like to offer some inspirational remarks to her graduating class of May 2022.
Good evening, family, friends, faculty, and honored guests. Welcome to Shepherd University's School of Nursing pinning ceremony for the class of spring 2022. Being a nurse isn't about the grades. It's about being who we are. No textbook can teach you how to cry with a patient. No class can teach you how to tell their family that their loved one has died or is in the middle of dying. No professor can teach you how to find dignity in finding someone a bed or giving someone a bed bath. A nurse is not about the pills or the charting. It is about being able to love people when they're in their weakest moments or embracing them during their joyous times. Despite the challenges of being in nursing school during our pandemic, Our incredible graduates demonstrated grace and resilience, working extremely hard to be here today. They have met their goal of completing their Bachelor's of Nursing by working diligently and ambitiously. Their dedication is admirable and will serve them well in the future. Our patients are coming to us with more complex health problems. They are in need of mental health services and resources now more than ever before. These amazing students will be meeting these challenges with our patients head-on and giving them the safest, most excellent care that they deserve. Well, class, we have come to the end of our long shift at Shepherd University. As we look back at all the steps we took together and where we stand now, it's clear that we learned to take care of our patients by first learning to take care of one another. I feel incredibly honored and proud to speak on behalf of this amazing class, as this class is truly one of a kind. There's a special bond that this class shares, and that carried us through all the obstacles that nursing school brought us. And although being surrounded by determined, ambitious, and sincerely helpful peers made our goal of becoming nurses a reality, the real masterminds behind our success were truly our faculty. The faculty that challenged us, prayed for us, stressed out over our grades probably more than we did, and taught us values that go far beyond care plans and NCLEX strategies. You are the nurses that we aspire to be. Thank you for holding us to the highest standards of excellence to make sure we've reached our full potential. So here's to our extraordinary class, and here's to our remarkable faculty. Here's to our incredible loved ones that are here today, who constantly show the love, support, and encouragement to all of us. As Florence Nightingale, the founder of modern nursing, said, "Live life when you have it. Life is a splendid gift. There's nothing small about it." This is my wish for all of you. Nurses have a unique perspective and understanding of how precious life is. This perspective is a gift. Always remember that you are making a difference every day in someone's life, no matter how big or small. You will give the patients the ability to live their lives to the fullest. You will be a light in their lives during the darkness. You will be their hope and their guide. You will be there to comfort them when they have pain and sorrow. This is a great privilege. Try not to take it lightly. Always believe in yourself and your ability to make an impact and to create change. I know that each of you will make a difference and do great things. So class, as this is likely our last time in the same place and the same time, I'd like to ask you to stand with me. Yes. And together, no longer strangers, but now as a family, let's take a step into our futures, into the unlimited potential that we are capable of and have been prepared for as a Shepherd University School of Nursing graduate. We are the next generation of nursing heroes. Thank you for letting me speak on our special day. Congratulations.
Thank you, Heather. It is my pleasure to give the Shepherd University School of Nursing Leadership Award to this deserving senior. Perhaps not sure of her career path out of high school, this student loved working with people and held several positions in service excellence. Knowing that she wanted additional education, she completed a general studies degree from Frederick Community College. With her love of giving back to others, she pursued the Bachelor's of Science in Nursing from Shepherd University. She is thankful for the many leadership and service opportunities while also a nursing student. Often described as quietly effective, I'm a weeper, gosh, pull it together. This student put herself out there and was elected president of the Shepherd University Student Nurse Association, serving this past semester. She has grown exponentially in her leadership skills, such as her ability to provide clear vision, offer acknowledgement and affirmation to others, and in leading this growing services organization to effect positive change. This student accepted an RN position at Valley Health Winchester Med Center on the Surge Telemetry Unit. Her future plans include pursuing a master's degree with a nurse educator focus and perhaps a doctorate degree to become nursing faculty, as she enjoys seeing others learn and grow. Mark her name down, Dr. Bailey. She credits the loving support of her husband, Sean, her family, and the many supportive faculty and fellow students to her academic success. It is my pleasure to present the Spring 2022 Shepherd University School of Nursing Leadership Award to Mrs. Heather Cook.
Hi, I'm Brenda Johnston, and I am presenting the Spirit of Nursing Award for Shepherd. And I'm so excited to present this award. I have to tell you, my first experience with this student was on the psychiatric unit. I was the clinical instructor, and I think what really struck me was her level of comfort in an area where a lot of our students kind of are a little sheepish and kind of a little scared, but it was amazing to me, just her level of comfort and understanding, and it was obvious that she had a tremendous level of empathy and compassion. I knew she was meant to be a nurse, despite her admission that she really didn't have a lot of medical knowledge, and going into the nursing field was really new. I thought I'd be able to recruit her over to the dark side. But it turns out her love is not just obstetrical nursing, but now she's going to be an emergency nurse. And so I've lost her. But Carly Holben, the Spirit of Nursing Award. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to take a picture, right?
So Dr. Maley is going to present the Director's Award for Scholarship. The University School of Nursing Director's Award for Scholarship recognizes the graduating Bachelor of Science in Nursing student with the highest overall grade point average in the class. The recipient of this award exemplifies the highest ideals of scholarship and dedication to the scientific rigor of the nursing profession. This award is awarded to Sierra Lohr. You want the medal first? Okay. The next award is for the Distinguished Graduate Student Award Scholarship. It is in recognition for contributions to graduate culture. The Graduate Council of Shepherd University honors Christy Ashton. We have now come to the part of our program where we will now pin the undergraduate students of the Bachelor of Science in Nursing graduates. Please hold all applause until all graduates have been called. Yeah, I know. Good luck with that. Okay. Brooke Adams. Megan Atkinson. What did they say? Oh. Jane Aulick. Michaela Azar. Emmy Brock. Madison Lee Brock. It's so hard. It's so hard. Quinn Carnes. Courtney Close. Heather Lynn Cook. Katarina Hadid. Haley Henderson Stone. Carly Holben. Cameron Hughes. Kristen Nicole James. Gabrielle Jennings. Grace Kubik. Amber Lee Master. Krista Lewis. Sierra Lore. Emily Luckenball. Marie Yvette Machwamba. Cameron Matei. Cassandra Myers. I don't know that. Madison Myers. Samantha Lee Roop. Mamana Subaidi. Carter Tolley. Caitlin White. Please join me in congratulating our graduates with a round of applause. We will now hood the graduates of the Doctor of Nursing Practice program with a specialization as family nurse practitioner. Please hold all applause until all graduates are called. You got the right here.
Christy Ashton, DNP Project, Simulation and Self-Reflection as a Tool to Influence Pharmacological and Non-Pharmacological Interventions for Nursing Home Residents with Cognitive Loss, a Pilot Study. Project Chair, Dr. Kelly Watson-Huffer.
Salaries go up to 6 figures. So it's doing right on.
Congratulations, Christy. Muna A. Basali, DNP Project, using square breathing to decrease the subjective experience of stress in nurses working in an outpatient chemotherapy treatment center. Project Chair, Dr. Brenda Johnston. Yeah. Congratulations, Muna. Michael Cochran, DNP Project, Increasing Provider Documentation about Influenza Vaccine Encounters. Project Chair, Dr. Angela Fetty. Congratulations, Michael. Brittany Mills, DNP Project, to the impact of group exercise activity on the functional aspects of wellness. Project Chair, Dr. Brenda Johnston. Congratulations, Brittany.
Gerald Oliver, DNP Project, recommendations to implement the CRAFT screening tool in pediatric primary care. Project Chair, Dr. Mary Hancock. Lauren England Posey. DMP project, developing an interprofessional motivational interviewing activity for use in Shepherd University's psychiatric, mental health, nurse practitioner, and social work programs. Project Chair, Dr. Brenda Johnston.
You did it, Sissy.
Kara Radonich. DMP project, reducing the occurrence of hospital-acquired pressure injuries, a quality improvement initiative. Project Chair, Dr. Kelly Watson Huffer. Justina Workman. DMP project, asthma education for adolescents. Let's kick asthma together while monitoring symptoms. Project Chair, Dr. Kara Berker. Please join me in congratulating our DMP graduates with a round of applause.
Wow, very impressive. The workforce really needs you, and I know you have jobs, and you may even be starting to work on Monday, so thank you. We have a significant shortage of nurses and a very shortage of nurse practitioners, so we're just thrilled that we can provide this opportunity for you and for our community. It's wonderful once again to see smiling faces, hear laughter, and give hugs. We're thrilled you could join us for the nursing convocation for the Shepherd University Doctor of Nursing Practice and the Bachelor of Science in Nursing classes of May 2022. Thank you, Dr. Provost. I'm okay. It's just Friday. Thank you, Provost Marks, for your warm welcome. And Dr. Groves, as a master teacher, you've once again given us an inspirational message to build upon and carry these graduates into new chapters. So thank you. He thinks he's retiring. He's been with us 10 years, and we've been able to twist his arm to at least teach us an adjunct next year. He's been too eager to clean out his office. I'm concerned. I thank all of you for joining us at this significant step in the life journey of our students, faculty, and university. Many of you have come long distances to celebrate with our graduates, and many of you are nurses who have experienced this culminating event, a passage into the professional world of nursing. I ask all the nurses here tonight to stand and be recognized. Would you please stand if you're in the, I can't see, so yay, thank you. Thank you. You have been role models for these young nurses coming forward. And this is a very special weekend. It's Mother's Day. Would all the mothers please stand and be recognized? And I know we have some here. Thank you. Thank you. Events like this are very special in our lives and leave us with many memories. On behalf of our faculty and students, I want to recognize Drs. Angela Fetty and Lisa Zurell, Student Affairs Committee, and their team who have orchestrated this afternoon's events. Would you please stand? A very special thank you to our administrative associates, Leslie Kelly, who's been folding brochures, nailing things, getting things done. Tonight she's celebrating a birthday with her son who just turned 20, but she has done a lot of work to get us to this point. Kara, who is in the front, if you'd raise your hand, she's one of our photographers tonight. And Kayla is in the back, and our second photographer tonight. They work magic and make things happen for us every day. They're very, very special, so thank you. And a very special thank you to Chase and the IT staff who have helped with the technology so those outside or at home can celebrate this occasion with you. I know Chase is hiding somewhere, but we'll give him a round of applause anyway, so thank you. As we acknowledge your successes, we would like to recognize the faculty who have accompanied you on this journey. Faculty, please remain standing, and everyone, please hold your applause until everyone has been presented. Dr. Charlotte Anderson, Psych Mental Health and their capstone immersion experience. Dr. Kara Burker, coordinator of the Doctor of Nursing Practice, Family Nurse Practitioner Program and Postgraduate Certificate, and at the undergraduate faculty for Population Health. Dr. Doris Berkey teaches across the curriculum at the graduate and undergraduate levels and is a member of the West Virginia Board of Nursing for Advanced Practice. Dr. Lorene Donovan, leadership, grant writing, and statistics at the graduate level and med-surg nursing at the undergraduate. Professor Unger, clinical lab and simulation coordinator and teaches informatics. Dr. Angela Fetty teaches pediatrics across the curriculum and co-chair of the Student Nurses Association. Dr. Michael Groves, undergraduate and graduate genetics and bioethics and coordinator of the RN to BSN program. Dr. Groves thinks he's retiring. He tells me he has, I guess it's 17 hours now.
Yep.
I said 24, and he said 18. I guess now it's 17. Thank you for your service to Shepherd, the School of Nursing, especially to our students. You'll be greatly missed. Dr. Mary Hancock, maternal and newborn and nursing research and evidence-based practice. Dr. Kelly Watson Huffer, pharmacology, which is, I know, was your all's favorite courses, both groups. She teaches pharmacology across the curriculum and adult health 1 and 2 at the graduate level and gerontology, and is the project director of our $2.7 million HRSA Rural Health Grant. She also champions the photobiomodulation PBM project. Dr. Brenda Johnston, Psych Mental Health, nursing at the undergraduate, and she's the coordinator of the Psych Mental Health Nurse Practitioner Program, which began last fall, along with the postgraduate certificate. Dr. Kelly Rife-Snyder, gerontology and population health, along with OB clinicals, plus the theorist course at the graduate level. Dr. Lisa Zurell, Foundations in Nursing and Leadership, and co-chair of the Student Nurses Association. As director of the program, I teach their last course that is a culmination for preparation to take the national examination for licensure as a registered nurse. And I do sign off for the DNP students to get their certification also. We are so very proud of you and look forward to having you as our RN colleagues. Thank the faculty, please. Thank you. Thank you. Right now, we are celebrating National Nurses Week beginning today, May the 6th, and ends on May the 12th, which is Florence Nightingale's birthday. Florence Nightingale not only revolutionized nursing and wrote the first nursing book, Notes on Nursing, and we did not make the students read that. They may tell you that, but we didn't. She also developed the organization of the modern hospital that we still use today. As we celebrate National Nurses Week, the theme this year is Nurses, the courage to care, the strength to help, which exemplifies your journey today. Your courage and your strength will make the difference in the lives of those you will serve. We are immensely pleased and honored to have accompanied these graduates on your journey to become nurses and advanced nurse practitioners. We are so very proud of you. Remember who you are, what you've done, and where you've been. You've learned what you need to know to gain entry in the profession of nursing in your new role of advanced practice. Always be a professional and stay involved. We wish you success and happiness as you make the passage into your new professional lives. Have a safe journey, and please come back to visit us. To our visitors tonight, thank you for sharing your sons and daughters, mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, girlfriends and boyfriends with us. However, it is time for us to return them to you and to send them onward into the great profession of nursing. Provost Martz, faculty, staff, families, and friends, I'm honored to present to you the graduating nursing classes of May 2022, Shepherd University nurses. Congratulations on this proud day.
Okay, we're now going to do the Professional Nurses Pledge. So please open your brochures, so here we go. Let's do this together, please. In the presence of this assembly, I solemnly pledge to practice the profession of nursing with intelligence, integrity, and caring. I will care for individuals, families, and communities with respect, advocating for them and maintaining their confidentiality. I will refrain from any action that might cause harm to life or health. I will uphold and advance the standards of the nursing profession by adding to the body of nursing knowledge and by delivering evidence-based care. I will endeavor to keep my professional knowledge and skill at the highest level. Through collaboration, commitment, and competence, I will endeavor to safeguard the health and welfare of those committed to my care. Thank you.
Emily.